Yay. So, and that's you. There's Art sitting there waiting.
One of the robots on the new book I'm reading is called Art. And it's he's a research transport robot. It's ART, and they named him Asshole Research Transport. And they call him Art for short. It's funny.
I've been trying to recall what the story was, but years ago, I mean like 8th, 9th grade, I remember reading a story about a guy that had an implant in his brain. He was a soldier. And the first thing that happened when they came up after the surgery for getting this implant was he got to name it. And so he named his implant Asshole. Through the whole story, there's this, hey, asshole, do X, Y, Z.
Oh, okay.
And I just loved it. I have tried to figure out how to rename an Alexa, and can't do it.
Can't do it. You hear us, Art?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Very, very
Wow.
well today.
That's impressive.
Okay.
Turning the volume down even more. The TV. Vicente is in California. I talked to him. I don't know if he'll show up or not, but he's in California right now.
Well, he's dropping his daughter off, and then they're going to go up to the Napa Valley, as I understand it.
Yep. Yeah,
You turn on share.
I did turn on share.
Okay.
I should have turned on share.
Oh, okay.
It should be on.
Close. That's similar.
It should be on. I'm not promising anything with Zoom anymore. Stuff that I want to do doesn't necessarily mean that it did it.
You guys are getting a little rain there, I take it.
Little, some.
Well, there's at least on what is it, WLWT or whomever, they're saying that there's a bunch of people without power again. So I don't know if that's south or north or east or west or whatever, but they're claiming a lot of power loss right at the moment.
Well, I don't know about that one. But if we disappear, then you'll know it's because of a storm.
Oh, okay. The WLWT says thousands without power as the storms move through Cincinnati area, whatever that means.
Well, that's south of us.
Y'all.
Yeah. When me and Jim came down, it did actually look like the storm was worse to the south. So.
Well, I don't know what WLWT considers to be the Cincinnati area. I don't know if that's everything inside 275 or everything south of Columbus.
Well, I hope it's not everything south of Columbus. That's a large area.
Still got power in my house. I can get to my, or at least the battery hasn't run down yet.
I wouldn't know if we lost power. I don't think we've lost power. guess I could turn lights on. I could probably see if the cameras are still working.
Yeah,
Cameras are still working in this tower.
So Steve, you can you remotely query your UPS?
Yes,
I'm talking about the one at home, not one at work.
yes. I mean,
Okay.
I can SSH into the server and do it. I don't even remember what the command is, but yeah, I can.
So you can tell whether you're running on battery power or you're running on Duke Energy power, so to speak.
my driveway is dry, so it's not raining.
Actually, I should get an email if it switches over to battery.
Well, if I look at my remote access to my rain gauge right now, I've gotten about 1/10 of an inch of rain between 4:53 and 5:07. So that's not a huge, that's not a huge, pardon?
That's a flood over there, isn't it?
1/10 of an inch of rain and was it there?
15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty brisk rainfall there.
Well, my kitchen camera's still on, so
Probably good.
we're probably good. It really wasn't, it rained for a little bit, but it really wasn't anything. It thundered a lot. There was a lot of thunder.
I was driving by, lightning hit the IKEA sign. That was pretty bright.
That was cool.
Lightning hit the IKEA sign.
Yeah.
That's like a message from God, I think.
No, that would be nothing but our Jesus.
Yeah.
Especially
Way
in Jesus,
past
right?
that.
Yeah.
Art probably doesn't know that. He probably wasn't around when that happened.
What was that?
Google touchdown Jesus.
Touchdown Jesus, Monroe, Ohio.
Touchdown Jesus, smitten by God. Something to do with,
The anniversary of that was not too long ago.
something about graven images.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, that's a mixed metaphor because the graven images business is Old Testament, whereas Jesus is New Testament, at least in my understanding.
the big church out there in Monroe, they've had a huge statue, and then they changed it because it got struck by lightning.
Yeah, there's some really neat 911 calls.
It burned down. It burned to the ground.
I swear, man, I'm not lying.
So they couldn't have just put a lightning rod on it?
Well, the new one, they've got lightning suppressors and stuff on it, but the original one, no,
It was fiberglass and foam.
it was supposed to be not conductive or something. It was supposed to be.
Well, until it starts to rain and then you've got water pouring down over it and all of that goes out the window.
And
So to
and it
speak.
was seen in the middle of a big lake, or did they add the lake afterwards?
No, the lake was there.
Yeah, it was seen in the middle of a big lake, so.
Also, it had a nice ground plane there too. That's cool.
you'll find interesting pictures of it on fire from people cruising down 75 because it sits right there on 75.
I don't know if that'll help you.
You is
So when was this?
It's been a while now. What?
Yeah, probably year and a half. No, it's been longer than that.
It's been
years.
So it wasn't decades ago. It was relatively recently in the glacial
No,
theory.
it wasn't decades ago. It was, but it was 6-7 years ago, maybe.
what's your budget? Starts at $800.
Butter Jesus. Just search for butter Jesus.
Yeah.
And lightning.
I can see that that gave the pastor a lot of material for future sermons. Or maybe he got canned, who knows?
No, there's a lot of interesting stories about that church.
A lot of interesting stories about that church.
Hmm. This is telling me that I need to figure out how to put Linux on a Microsoft Surface.
It's been 10 years. It was destroyed by lightning June 2010.
Okay, so that's before my tenure in Cincinnati.
No, it's 10 years.
Ha 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 ha.
Whoa.
I knew the anniversary of it had either come up or was coming up. It happened a little while longer than I thought.
So that's 12 years ago this month.
12 years ago, yeah.
Man's got an upgrade coming up. They're going to LTE and 5G service or something. We all should have LTE. Yeah.
Oh, Mint Mobile.
Yeah.
The other.
The other Mint. I am on my 6th month. This is my 6th month, and I've already paid for a whole year. So whatever they do, I get a year.
So you've got your price fixed through the end of the year.
Yeah, well, through July next year, yeah. My
Oh.
my contract will renew July 13th, I think. So I've got a year from there.
So you're guaranteed of what the price will be on July 13th, 2022.
Yeah. For an entire year. So hopefully they don't raise the price, but if they do, I'm locked in because I already paid.
Okay.
$202 a year is what it was. And we did both phones, so it was $404, which sounds like an insane amount of money. But it was a savings actually.
That's pretty cool. Thank you.
Did you find anything that looked decent?
It keeps coming back to Microsoft Surface. And I can't give them money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want you to have a Microsoft Surface. You need one of those.
Said they're like 1,700 units. All of Microsoft Surface, huh?
As soon as I got to 12-inch or smaller screen, that's all that showed up.
Oh,
And I know Acer has a few, and there's another one that starts with an A.
Asus.
Yeah, they've got a couple nice small ones. I'm not in any need, but I'd like to get one by about the middle of next month.
109, that's 11.6 inch. Asus.
Why
Like
not
Best
a
Buy.
Why not a tablet?
Because on-screen keyboards are really bad,
Yeah.
and I type a lot.
Okay.
Free shipping. Ooh.
Ideally, it'll have cherry browns. Oh, wait. They don't make a laptop with a decent keyboard.
A Chromebook. Probably want to serve your needs. Because you can't really install stuff. Well, I guess you can put Linux on it.
109, you can just throw it away.
This is
Barely.
what I got. Gentlemen, oh, hello.
Hey, Barry.
Real close to what I got. Huh. The M4020 is. Where's this from? What do you want?
Dun dun dun.
It's
Barry's got toys.
high buys. Oh,
It's a laser level. Is that what that is?
I haven't got the faintest clue. That's what you guys are for.
Oh, it's in some weird.
It's in Hebrew. It says Shalom Limited Inc., manufactured February 2002. And a part number.
it looks.
Looks
It's
like
kinda-
it
it sits on
dispenses
top of something. Maybe a
Oh, let me see.
tripod. Yeah, give it to Steve. He'll figure out what the heck it
I
is.
thought about it, you know, I did a tripod.
Yeah, looks like it sits on the
Lots of
tripod.
batteries.
I was going to use Google Translate and see what it said.
What language is it in?
Hebrew, apparently.
Yeah.
See if it would. We are not translating to Spanish.
It was made in 2002.
Why did it?
It-
All right, let's enable. It says I don't have permission anymore. What the?
That's user abuse there.
What the heck? Why don't I have permission?
I haven't figured out how to open it, if that's what you're.
Steve will open it one way or the other.
Sledgehammer.
It's just a matter of time.
Pull out one of 10 screwdrivers he has in his hip pocket there.
Yeah. And a power drill and a jigsaw. His fold up
It's a
jigsaw.
dispenser of some sort. This is a little motor. It spins. It dispenses stuff this way. It
Glitter
could-
bomb.
Could be.
Here, let's try it again. I fixed the
Let's see.
permission problem.
Guy across the street thought it might be a gas detector.
I can see.
Aim at text. Okay, I am aiming at text.
Probably says product of Israel.
nothing is happening.
Can only use Tataran batteries. On batteries. Where do I buy?
Productions, your production. Well, we already knew that. Thank you very much, Google. Production series. Oh,
Yeah, more stuff.
there's more stuff up in there.
Oh, is it on that one? So a lot of them are blank. They don't say anything on them. I grabbed one that had writing on them.
How many of those have we got?
10.
100,000.
Where'd you get them?
Well, my friend that passed away, that's stuff that was in his garage. So I don't know if it was for the water, clean your filtration system, or if it's a, pyro energy or gas pump for, he had 55-gallon drums of oil and gasoline and fuel and diesel and.
At least one of the words, you can't see the other word that's semi-covered, but at least one of the words is clocks.
But it's RPM.
That makes sense.
Because I'm almost certain that
There's
that's an inflator or
a
it
spinny thing.
spreads seeds out or something. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
into
what's
the
the flappy
seeds.
thing up there? Does that pull the door open?
That's behind the batteries.
So you need like a screwdriver or something to push that down in there.
Pop the batteries out there when you drive. I
And
mean,
you can see where the batteries go. That'll help a lot.
So that's where the English sticker is.
So that's like a lock.
And it's slightly springy to one side.
You gotta push that down and pull.
Thing we can push down.
I got no tools with me today. Just my
Sacrilege.
phone. I mean, it's kind of a hammer.
If we had your laptop, we could use it.
Pull in the plastic back. Yeah.
Oh, it's cracked. It's opening up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it means. You push that in to release whatever the spring is
I
and
don't think so.
push that down.
Uh-oh.
And there's a crap ton of batteries. Lithium. Oh, cool.
Those are CR123s in there?
So somewhere there's a charger.
Okay, now.
Theoretically.
If you put-
CR 123As, yeah. LM 1.
Those aren't rechargeable. No. So if you put it back together with that piece of fabric out of it, it'll spin.
Humming noise.
Neat.
Does that help us figure out what it is?
It spins.
I'll bet those batteries are still good. That's a tiny little,
Bubble maker.
there you go.
Do
The
what?
end of the world's coming.
Whatever
Gotta
goes,
make your
whatever it shoots out goes up through there and comes out here, but it would go up.
I'm not sure of that. I think it actually
You
draws
think it
in.
goes
Yeah,
down?
yeah, because it's a centrifugal impeller.
So these were,
So it's taking air from outside.
these all say March 02.
Yeah,
Are those disposable lithium ion?
Yeah,
yeah, they're CR123s.
The red, okay, the red thingy must be the
Part of the switch.
on-off switch.
No, I think that way or turned around 180. Now flip.
you didn't pay attention when
I
you took
didn't
it apart,
take it.
did you?
I didn't pay
I
attention.
think the open side goes toward you. keep turning, that way. Oh, no. So the little hole that's on the right end of it, now the left, goes over the contact.
There we go. So this is like so. And that would connect the power. So the spring back is just
Result of the switch.
as a result of the switch. No, I'm pretty sure that the positive was facing this way. Of course, if it's just a motor, then it would blow one way or the other based on how the batteries are in, right?
No, it's still an impeller. It'll,
Oh, battery, no.
Yeah,
Label it right there.
it's labeled right there. Okay. Okay, it's coming at the bottom.
so it's an inflator for something. It uses really expensive batteries.
If you've got more of those batteries, I could use
Oh,
some of those
She
batteries.
pitched probably 30 pounds of those batteries and paid for the pleasure of disposing of them.
Oh, yeah.
It
Those are
pissed me
expensive.
off.
Those,
If I knew she was going to throw them away, I would have
You
been
know-
like, I'll take them.
you remember that vector robot that I have and those robots?
Yeah.
Those cubes, I'll use those batteries, and
Yeah,
those batteries are
my
flipping expensive.
surefire flashlight eats them like they're chiclets. And so I was like,
It puts out a decent amount of air.
when she came back and told me that that they took 50 pounds of them, or his batteries to the someplace or Batteries Plus or whatever, and they charged her like $5 a pound to dispose of all that. I was like, what?
I would dispose of them for
And that
free.
little motor spins a long time. After you shut off power, it takes it 15, 20 seconds to spin down.
But we're no closer to knowing what it was actually used for.
Well,
It's an
We're a little
inflator for
closer.
something.
we know it moves something from one side to the other.
Almost certainly air, otherwise it wouldn't have this cover here
Yeah.
to keep your fingers out. It snaps onto something good sized and it sits this way. I can't imagine, I mean, that's the proper size for a duck, but it's got a rubber seal inside. So it's not just a 4-inch duck.
What would you? I mean, those rubber mattresses, those
Yeah.
inflatable mattresses. They usually come with, I mean, they're not
Not this
That-
fancy.
that fancy.
You certainly don't run on $3 a piece batteries.
Oh, what were they in 2002?
More.
And $3 would seem cheap to me, because last I looked, they were up closer to like $7 a piece.
If you buy them in quantity, they're not too bad.
Well, he used to pay me for some computer work. He paid me in bricks of those kind of batteries, like 20 in a pack or something, or however they came in.
About $100.
I had no idea. I told him I wasn't worried about it. He's like, nope, take this. And he gave me like that and a roll of silver $50.
Silver $50.
And an eighth of an ounce of gold.
For fixing these computers. I was happy with the batteries, because I said, I've never bought batteries for my Surefire flashlight. Either.
So it doesn't build up enough pressure to inflate a balloon even.
But it would go on in turn, right?
Maybe. We're just.
so that
locking
it
them.
locks it in place, because those are like locking rings.
Yeah, but they're also split down far enough that it may be something that just presses on the top.
I'm sticking my finger in there and turning it on. Ow!
Can't snag, won't snag.
Can't spin. I don't know. That's one of the bizarre mysteries of life now.
Hey, you know, I bring good stuff.
Look at that.
Whatever it is.
Wouldn't surprise me if it's some kind of air filtration. That's probably what he's playing for.
Yeah, that's about the right size for one of the snap-on air mask cartridges.
Oh, he had cases of those,
Oh,
but he also had like the gas mask that went with it too. But he also had,
But that you could put on a tent,
Yeah,
stick that outside,
filter the air.
and filter and apply positive pressure to the tent.
long shelf life for those lithium batteries, so
That thing will
Lithium
probably
batteries.
run for 4 hours on those batteries too.
yeah, lots of power and long shelf life. What could you want?
I'm filtering the air into my mouth. Very interesting. Yeah. Prepper, survivalist.
oh yes,
Well, that explains.
always wondered why he was so broke. Now I know. They, I was telling him that they threw out roughly 20 tons of canned goods. The last 20 years.
So from Streamlight, oh, I'm sorry, no, from somebody, a 6-pack of those batteries is $16. So, yeah.
Yep, but if you only need one or
Yeah,
two, that's a lot of money to spend
Well,
on batteries.
the glorious thing about those is that they last forever. I mean, they've got a 20-year shelf life.
And they pitched them.
Chromebook 3 for only $79.
Pitched them. And paid to do it.
Well, yeah. The unfortunate part is I actually need to replace batteries in this stupid cube. And somebody had them and I could have just recycled them for them
Well,
for free.
Honestly, you know, I told, well, that's what I don't really understand either. Is like, I told her that some of the batteries were extremely old, which I understood. Like, he had batteries for about every battery size that came out. And some of them died 10 years ago, right?
Right.
And I was like, Best Buy takes batteries for free right at the front door, you know?
Yeah.
And why they went to Battery Plus and got charged by the pound to dispose of them, I was like, what are you doing?
It's called double dipping. So you're selling those batteries.
Oh, I'm sure.
The last time I had to recycle batteries, I think I took them to Cohen and they weighed them by the pound and they actually paid me to
Yeah.
take them.
Yeah, lead's got some value.
Oh, yeah. That's
Lead
fine.
acid batteries, Batteries Plus will buy.
Nope.
I'm not paying any attention. Somebody should have said Vicente's waiting.
The core charge on my Prius for the one company is $1,000 now. I have a spare battery that I got from the junkyard for $400. I'm kind of thinking of if I take it in there, do I get $1,000 worth of credit?
Nice theory.
I like it. 'Cause there's a lot of bad parts in my spare battery at this point. Because I stole the ECM and I've added 3 more cells to it. So and the wiring.
The only thing against that being an air filter to pressurize a tent is the color.
Yeah.
Well, it's a, could have been to run ductwork through the house. Just to make airflow, to keep it safe. Or guns from, I don't know. I mean, there's cases of desiccant. And
It's
tubing and hoses, and he had probably 30 things for water valves or water filtration. To run air through. He had those ultraviolet light tubes for, to run the air through.
Yeah, I use that damn arrow key. Oh, is it backwards? Oh, that's a feature.
Vicente is here, but we can't see him. He must not really be here.
He's laying low.
Hi, Vicente. I don't know.
Turn his camera off.
He's
He's being incognito.
he may be,
Maybe his phone.
he may be doing the phone
Hey,
thing.
Vicente.
He doesn't have a microphone that showed up either, so I don't know if he can talk to us or not.
Boy, he's crippled.
Eh,
All
He's
we
out,
do is
he's
see
out
his-
there in California,
Well, yeah. I teach him a lesson,
that's the thing. I'm just fascinated by this thing now. I don't know
Well,
why.
I brought it in because I figured you guys would be very entertained trying to figure out what it is. I'm curious what it is.
I believe I found something similar.
No idea what it is for.
CM-3M escape respirator infant gas mask.
Okay.
Well, that would make sense. I could see that because he made sure he had gas masks for the entire family and grandkids.
Not the same thing, but similar. An Onyx 45L, which is 45 liters per minute. Constant airflow
So like it.
thing,
Well, okay. So would it be like a
but it's going the wrong
oxygen
direction.
tent?
Sound detection at the front door. What? That's new. I've never heard sound detection at the front door before.
Oh, meow.
It's Patty and the grandkid at the front door.
What's the camera show?
Hello. It shows
His wife and the grandkid.
it shows the wife and grandkid. I'm messing with you.
Can't get too close. It'll blast him.
Oh, he's on a radio.
That's awesome. We don't have a radio.
I'm not at my meeting. I am a ghost in the house. Be good. I'm going back to my meeting. I'm going back to my meeting, okay? Bye. Love you. Bye.
That's pretty fun.
Oh, Papel.
That's good audio from a camera.
She figured it out, finally.
The ghost gave it away.
Well, that's because we play Ghost in the House and it's always audio coming through that camera. So. But that's the very first time I've ever heard it tell me that sound was detected. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to turn that off because it's telling me sound is detected.
New feature.
It's a new feature. So. I mean, that would be nice if it was marked that I was away from the house or something. That would be a good feature, but
Well, it's detected that you're away from your house.
It is tracking you.
it is tracking me.
Have you guys seen the new dog collars?
No.
You can go into your property and draw where you want your invisible fencing to be.
And your little flags.
You don't even have to put
That's
flags.
for the dog.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, the concept is that the collar lets the dog know when it's getting near the edge and has a barrier. So, got like a 10-foot before it gets to where the virtual line is
Yeah.
to teach it. But yeah, I see visual probably helps it a little bit. But the buzzing collar, I would think, helps too.
Some of those are 3 levels. They squeak, then they buzz, then they shock. I can't shock my dog.
I
I
thought
bought
it
one
was,
of those at one point because the dog was barking a lot. I never could put the thing on it.
I just thought it was curious that you could do it with come in with your satellite map on their app, I guess, and just in your yard.
Oh, there's Vicente.
Hey, Vicente.
He looks like he's back in his office. I thought you were in California.
I'm back.
Oh,
Already?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm back. I'll be back.
I came back last night. Late.
So your flight wasn't canceled.
No,
So you red-eyed it back?
That's all there is.
excuse me.
You red-eyed it back?
Red
Red eye.
The red eye is the night flight.
No, I just sleep. I was 10, 11 by night yesterday. So we left San Francisco maybe 2 p.m. or something. But we were doing scale intermediate flight to Minneapolis. No, yeah.
There's a route through Minneapolis from SFO.
Yeah, I think we were there a couple of hours before finishing Cincinnati. So I was at home at 11 yesterday.
So did you get to Napa Valley?
Yes. Was hot, but was beautiful. Very nice.
Yeah, it's pretty warm there.
Yeah.
Pretty warm here.
There is a short, how you call when the electricity is turned off.
Brownout.
There is a shutdown in Palo Alto because fires around. So there are no classes in Stanford today because they have no electricity.
So your daughter's still there?
Yeah. They have generators, but only in some places of the campus. So everyone moves close to the generators area because there are internet there. And but they have no class, no classes.
We got no class ourselves.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Okay.
Leroy is working your robot.
No,
Okay.
no, but I was waiting to see if you showed up before I turned it on.
Maybe
it's-
Vicente has an idea of what that yellow fan is.
Well, we can use gas and a match to turn it on.
Yes. Are we ready for me? I guess.
I think you changed a lot of stuff in your project.
I didn't really make any changes, but I think there's something wrong with, I don't know. There's something wrong. This is not using AI. This is just trying to do this with simple logic.
Okay. And how was it?
Well. Oh, why aren't we working? Come on.
It's actually been on all this time.
It's
You had your new Stack 5 sensors, right?
Yes.
Mm. They came fast.
I think one of these wires is bad though. I had a problem with.
The I2C connectors, or
Yeah, one of the I2C connectors.
you have no replacement for that?
I didn't bring a USB-C cable. Can't see what I was actually doing.
Mm.
Well, maybe this isn't one.
You got a USB-C. but they don't have a card.
Is the battery charged, Leroy?
Yeah. Okay. See if we can figure out what it's actually doing.
Hey, Art, the book listed in the meeting announcement that Asimov lookalike has a character, a robot character called Art in it.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Is he bald?
it's a TLA.
Oh. I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, that's your namesake. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've read it twice. I read it twice in 2 days. That's a pretty good book.
You have two arts in the meeting.
Yeah.
Art.
And they mentioned it in the reviews that they used Art, but they said they failed to tell us what the TLA stood for. And now I know why.
Anybody recommend any cool car scanners?
Steve had a couple.
I've got Steve's.
something cooler,
A little bit better,
something cooler.
something that works more than just reading 2 errors.
So, Jim, is this the fugitive telemetry?
It's the one by Wells. I think it's Wells.
Yeah, well, that's when there's 2 of them here by Wells. One is all systems red, and the other one is called fugitive telemetry, and they're part of the second one is part of the murder bots diaries.
Yeah, both of them are murder bots, I think. Let's see, yeah, Martha Wells, and it's the fugitive telemetry one.
Okay.
It's cute. It's cute. It's pretty cute reading. He has a sense of humor. Very much like Asimov. Some of Asimov's humor.
Yeah.
He's a somewhat derogative about intelligence of humans.
And that's certainly understandable.
I wonder about that myself sometimes.
Pretty sad anymore.
Okay, so this is available on the Ohio Digital Library. Cool.
Yeah, she's pretty popular. If you try to check out her books, all of them are, you have to be on hold. I did get my first one, book 6. I got the first time.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's see if this is actually working at all or not.
This should be interesting, Art.
Yeah, I'll check it out and read it. So
One of my Argus cameras, my wire-free cameras fails to alarm. It's got the infrared detection on it, and it fails to trigger. I've been talking to Reolink, and they're going to send me a return. How about a refurb, and they're going to do an RMA on it. Okay, sounds good.
so they do an RMA on a refurb?
Yep, I bought it from eBay as a refurb for $60, and I said, okay, can't fix this one. We'll send you an RMA. Okay.
So did you send it back to them so they could fix it?
Got more question marks?
I don't know if they want it back, but I'll be glad to. Usually, I bought it from eBay. eBay will send you a shipping label, and that's it. You're done. You don't have to pay. So this is a refurbished, apparently a certified refurbisher, and with a 1-year guarantee. Okay. $60 for a wire-free camera. It's not.
That's-
It's not a 4 meg. It's a 2 meg though. It's one of the old ones.
I have no idea how good that is at doing data transfer. I only use it for charging.
Yeah,
Um,
well, it showed up, so it's, I mean,
Well, that's good.
it showed up as a device, so.
Yeah. It's mostly working.
I ran into this problem. Do what?
Yeah, it is trying to talk fast.
Okay.
There's
it
an
says.
okay.
Oh, we got an okay that time, but no actual data. That's the native speed of this thing.
Yeah, 115, 200. Yeah, you. Well, that's pretty zippy. Oh, initializing,
and flag
okay.
stick. Yep.
Well, okay, it's not working, it's not reading the sensors. So I will have to go through and see which cable is actually bad.
So this is a USB-C cable, you said?
No, the I2C cables that they give you with these sensors are kind of the cheapy free cables. And I
And
think
what
I
is
just bent one the wrong direction and it's finally worked itself to being broken.
Tell you, I need to get that someday. I still haven't done it. Every time I hook up my damn iPad, I curse and wish I hadn't.
Mhm. Yeah, I've got lightning connectors for them too. And they make some that are 90 degrees, but they're round and they're too big. These are getting harder to find. The ones with the oval, they're a lot smaller. It does just barely stick out. Maybe not. Used to. You would have beaten it into the bottom of the phone enough. But it is nice being able to just throw the cable in the general direction and have it hook up.
Well, I noticed that some of my cable, and I don't know if it's an Apple cable or just a white cable I've gotten from somewhere. But if I don't hear the ding when you plug it in,
Mhm.
I gotta take it out, flip it over and plug it back in.
I've had that happen with these.
Have you?
They'll work fine for a month. And then you've got to take it out, turn it over, put it back in. I mean, it's
Weird,
weird.
that's all about.
My understanding is that the Apple connector, there's a chip in the connector itself.
Mm.
And my guess is it's just a little 4-wire processor and it locks up. And you have to pull it out for it to lose power from the phone as well before it'll reset.
It's odd, but when I flip it, it works. But then the iPad still says it's not charging,
You know,
but it does, because it's like a triple charge, right? In about 4 hours, it's full. I don't like doing that. I
Yeah.
have one.
these don't do well with high current. I've got I don't know, 7 USB outlet thing by the bed. And a pile of these. She's got an iPad and an iPhone. I've got an iPhone and this thing, and we just plug them all in at night. Cable again?
I'll know if it's working or not as soon as I turn it on. And it's not.
Hmm.
I've pinched a cable somewhere or I've done something. It won't work because well, the software might want read one, but it'll just freak out about the other one. It'll just sit there and go,
I can't read the other
I
one.
can't read the other one.
Which is probably what it's doing now, right?
Pretty much. It's
Yeah,
sitting there
you can
waiting.
ask
going-
I've got some of my devices change IP addresses. When I cycle power on my switch and my stuff, how do I stop that? So I
Go
change the
to
lease.
your router and tell it to assign. I mean, it'll give you a list of what things have what IP address and what their MAC address is.
Oh, no.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah, and you just tell it always, for this MAC address, always give it this IP address. That won't work for phones because for
I've got
some
30
reason
devices.
Because phones
rotate. through,
rotate
yeah, which is
MAC
in the
addresses.
Posterior.
I've
Okay.
turned it off on mine
But-
because it was a pain in the ass.
Oh, I didn't know you could.
I
yeah.
mean, when I turn my router off, why would it be confused? He's got leases on all these guys.
But it forgets the leases when you turn it on.
This is-
And then the
Ah.
next thing to say, hey, I need an IP address, oh, you get .2. And the second
It
thing
doesn't
gets
know that
.3.
it has a lease on it. The devices don't know they have a lease.
They do, and they should go, before I had this IP address, but most things are relatively stupid and just go, I need an IP
I
address.
need an IP address.
And honestly, it really is worth it to go through and assign the IP addresses to the MAC addresses. It also gives you an inventory. It's easy to see if there's something that's not showing up. And
It's really not all that hard to do once you get into the router configuration.
on my router, I don't even have to know what the MAC address is. I can plug a thing in and tell it in the future, call this thing Bob and give it this IP address. And now I can ping Bob on my network because the router says this thing is Bob. It's handy.
You know which camera was that went out or where?
Yeah. It's worth doing.
The thing is, the Rio links, they don't care. The client for the Windows box, it doesn't matter if it changes IP, it doesn't care. It'll find it.
Mhm.
But iSpy is not that smart.
If you went through, assigned them and gave them names, you could tell iSpy camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. If you name them camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, then iSpy just needs to look for camera 1. You don't need to tell it
I haven't
192,
seen those
168.
features on the ASUS router.
It's there. ASUS is decent.
It's in there somewhere. It may not be called what we're calling it,
Yeah.
but it's in there.
What ASUS do you have, do you know? I strongly recommend the
A lot of the
U68, I think. It's a $60 router at Micro Center. It's all gigabit ports and
What was the name and model number there, Steve?
I had to go and ask. I know it ends in 68.
Asking broke his memory.
So, yeah. The thing has been rated as one of the best routers for like 4 years in a row now.
Yeah. I know some of the
Who-
old routers, you would have to look in the IP table, get the MAC addresses, and then you had to go somewhere else to actually tell it to assign, but I'm pretty sure the new ones just have check marks and you tell it to always assign it to this.
Give me a second, I'm looking at that.
What brand is it?
ASUS,
ASUS, ASUS.
There's always been a couple of different ways to do that with the router.
RT. AX, no, that's not it. It's $270.
Yeah, that's not a $60 router.
Anybody want some wax?
I'll just change the address when I it's not every day, I reboot everything.
Well, our power's gone out like 4 times in the last 2 weeks, so all my numbers are screwed up.
I got UPS on mine. So I don't-
Reauthenticate everywhere and
That was
It's always
one,
self-inflicted when mine happens.
that was one reason why I went through and told it to always assign the same IP addresses to stuff. Was because the power goes out.
Usually on most of the routers, the home routers, you have a maximum number you can do that with. A lot of times it's like either 16 or 32, something like that.
It depends on the router, because modern routers are way better about doing some of this stuff now.
So you could always put open WRT on,
Yeah.
if they're that bad.
I think it's even cheaper than I thought. I think it's an RT AC 65.
That's
ASUS RT-AC 65. $50 at Micro Center. It's got
AC as in Alpha,
Charlie,
pardon?
Alpha Charlie.
Alpha Charlie, you said 60 or 61?
6.5er.
Got it.
What's the model number again? I'll put it in the chat.
ASUS RT-AC 65. And it's AC series wireless
Yeah.
at 1750 megabits per second. It's faster wireless than gigabit. Like, how can that be?
Because it's magic.
Yeah,
Everything's magic.
I'm very happy with mine. Very inexpensive. I've never
Decent,
outrun its tables.
decent firmware.
They do update the firmware relatively frequently. You log in and it says, oh, there's an update. Do you want to apply it? And if you,
Mine won't update anymore.
this one will.
I must have an old one.
That is a well-recommended router. And now it's dirt cheap.
My
That was AC. That was RT AC 51 or 61.
it's in the chat, 65. It's 6.5.
Okay, let's see.
Or
$49.95 or $49.99 or something like that.
Okay, I will go and look for that.
They have 7 in stock. I have 3 at home.
Running kind of low.
I've got,
Oh, I probably got 15 routers.
I went looking for Raspberry Pis today.
How'd that work out for you?
I am not spending crazy money on Raspberry Pis.
No,
There was a guy selling,
I thought to myself though, gosh, with the Raspberry Pis I have sitting here, I could pay my rent for next month.
well, I have a toy you may appreciate. An AC 1700 wireless dongle that you can put in promiscuous mode.
oh, yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a fun toy. Anything fun with that yet?
Not yet. It has a pretty crappy little antenna on it, unfortunately. And I almost have to turn my wireless off to be able to sense anything around the neighborhood. Oh, and you missed the first part of the meeting. I broke my little tiny laptop.
That's not cool.
The hinge just disintegrated on one side. It still works, but I'm in the market for another one, and it looks like I can get something comparable for about $150. The update manager says there's a new update manager.
They've updated the update manager several times over the past 2 or 3 days.
Really?
Yes, which I'm not sure what they've done, but I keep looking for new features and I'm like, there's nothing new.
It's the same.
It's,
Yeah, probably plugging 0 days.
I don't know, the
Ooh.
21, whatever, should,
Updates to the kernel, SSL.
yeah, 7 more
App
updates. I'm not
URL.
doing that right now.
Have you seen some of the new Linux viruses?
No,
There's a new malware for Linux that piggybacks on all processes. It's fileless or fileless, memory resident, and it doesn't matter what you do. It's just like, yeah, here's our own affect everything that's running and you can hide in the RAM.
nice.
No,
So
not,
the-
not nice.
the-
Coupled with like moon bounce, and it installs into the BIOS and reloads and you re-image the
Oh,
machine.
nice.
So it's like you can't even get rid of the shit anymore. There's a new Windows one too that piggybacks in the registry in pieces. Like it puts snippets in like 25 different
Mhm.
sub things. So when Windows boots, it reconstructs in the RAM and
Nice.
then downloads in the background.
There's been stuff that does that before in Windows.
This is one of the reasons I dislike the registry.
Yeah.
I think configuration files should be in English. The computer's job is to figure out what I want, not me make up numbers this long to mean that you've run out of the end of the file or something.
Yeah, I remember one 15 years ago that you would find it spread throughout 4, 5, 7, 12, 15. And the more processes you had running, the more times it replicated itself inside the register. So it was just, and it was random spots. It was just random.
I only had to deal with one really bad virus. Now I don't remember what it was called, but it spread across Windows shares and our printers at Miami Systems many, many years ago had Windows shares. And so it was trying to spit out bad print jobs. Not nice. Not on printers that'll print 135 pages per minute.
Oh, wow.
Reams and reams on the stack.
Yep. I had to shut down everything in the company and go through with my, what was it, FProt. I loved FProt. That was
the best tool
glorious.
ever. You see, that was by far hands down the best tool we had in the arsenal.
Yeah.
Because every student's disk had something on it, and FProt always was like, nope, nope, stealth boot, nope. Okay.
And naturally, on every single door inside the building, going into the building, there's a sign, do not turn on your computer. Salesmen can't read that. I got paid well for that weekend. That was while I was still hourly. That was the impetus that had them put me on salary.
I've never dealt with one that I've heard of them where they started just printing random stuff out. I never had to deal with that one, but it would be a pain. Why is my printer doing this?
We had 7,
No, hieroglyphics.
lots of them. We had 7 Xerox 3150s, 6130s, 6135s. Yeah. Each one of them had a Sun fiery server attached to it. They were glorious. I mean, big 24-inch CRT monitors with that lovely sun purple. Basically, everybody that did something in the company had a Unix computer. And the salesmen all had Windows boxes. And it was rough.
We used to have a sun on each print station and all the student labs for the engineering.
we bought a copier from Gov Deals one year, and it had a Sun box attached to it.
Big honking SCSI cable.
Heck, the freaking video cable. I don't know what you call it anymore, that RGB, something or other,
Yeah, it's a 13
some odd pins.
RW or something like that. It's got the three coax connectors in the middle of a 19 pin DV.
My cable is sitting on my file cabinet right now.
I can give you a monitor that'll connect to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't have a monitor that connects to it anymore, but I do have an adapter to VGA.
Yeah.
I have that 13U cable to VGA to DVI. Probably somewhere in HDMI one too. Because DVI and HDMI were signal level the same thing. Fun toys.
I think the best monitor I had was, it ran on fiber channel. Came from an old bank and it connected to a TI machine.
Really?
Yeah, and 300 plus foot of fiber cable. The computer would sit down in the basement
Mm-hmm.
and the
Fiber
Monitor.
optic connection.
monitor was connected via fiber
Mm-hmm.
with a keyboard. So it was basically a terminal.
Yeah.
And this thing, this machine, you could plug, I think, 60 monitors into it.
Nice.
It was a graphics workstation. It wasn't a graphics workstation. It was a graphical display, but it was all black and white. It was a text.
Tektronix terminal.
Yeah, it was a TI machine. It was a
Okay.
TI terminal, but it was not amber. It was white on black text.
Okay, nice.
CRT was flipping huge in the damn thing. I mean, it wasn't huge, but I got it from some auction. I bought two of them at this auction. Came with two big monitors and nice size keyboard, which had all kinds of extra buttons.
Yeah.
It was a financial deal. And when I booted it up, sure enough, all the financial stuff was still there. I couldn't log into any of it, but it was all still there. Sold that sucker on eBay to a collector, a TI collector.
You know, Russians probably pay you more.
Oh,
the bank was all
I don't
over
even
us.
remember what it was just some weird funky TI box that I mean, when I bought it, I didn't even know TI was still making computers. I mean, but the thing that got me was the fiber channel for the monitor.
Yeah.
That was just the coolest thing in the world.
I never knew Novell was still around.
Oh yeah, we have Novell boxes.
Oh, I'm sure you do. At your place that you're at now, they probably still got boxes. that are
Novell's
almost
still around.
Reel to reel.
I haven't seen that.
You need higher clearance and then go to Colorado.
Oh, I'm going to Portland
Are you?
end of July. Yeah. I'll be out there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Be getting back late Wednesday. It's for a meet and greet. Everybody that's been hired since about this time last year. Just new employees, come on out to the Mentor Graphics site in Portland, Oregon.
It's just a party.
The original thing too.
Yeah.
And Dorsal still has some engineers out there.
Joyful. I can find out if you want. I'm not allowed to check into the hotel until 5, and my plane lands at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm leaving here at 6 a.m. But the Portland Museum of Science and Industry is on the way. I'll waste some time in there.
You can get through all the homeless people.
Yeah,
Portland is horrifying now.
I was surprised at how bad Chicago was the last time I was there, and that was in winter. I can't imagine what it's like in the summer. And
Chicago
Powell's
doesn't
Books
surprise
is
me.
there too. You had Freetown. Powell Books, Powell Bookstore. It's like the biggest bookstore in the country.
oh, really?
Is that,
It's awesome.
that in Portland?
You got like a 5-story warehouse building and a building across the street from it.
I've bought some books from there.
Oh, yeah, they've got anything that's ever been printed just about. Man, the whole area is just out of print books.
I didn't really know where they were from. I knew they were big.
Used to be the only best reason to go to Portland. But used to be nice in Portland. Couple of administrations ago, it went.
It just seems weird to me. The company uses Zoom for absolutely everyone, not Zoom, but Teams.
Oh, God, yeah.
I hate Teams, but they use it for
Such a
everything.
pile of shit, dude.
But to
It's
say
Microsoft,
hi,
enough said.
to say hi, they're gonna send 200 people to Portland. So $1,500 per person just for flights and yeah.
They were trying to invite you to come to Portland.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's it. It's a recruiting. It's a
Oh, Amazon
recruiting
does the same
summit.
stuff. If you're a decent employee, they fly you out to Seattle and wine and dine you for a week. And then try to get you to go to Seattle as an employee. They've tried to get my friend out there 2 or 3 years now.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't want to fly, right? So he doesn't like flying. His roommates were all killed in the flight several years ago, and but he wouldn't fly. They got him a rental car and let him take a week off to drive out and drive back.
Nice.
Even
I would have
give him a
taken
tour of-
Amtrak, but
Yeah. But I was shocked that, he said he'd go if they'd let him drive, and they're like, all right, what car do you want? And he was like, what?
Corvette.
Yeah, I was shocked they let him drive all the way out there. What's funny was, I think he was out there the same week I was out there for PAX, and I didn't know it.
Oh,
So I could have hung out with.
got a friend who's a programmer at Microsoft and has been for 20 years now, trying to see if I can get hold of him. He used to live up in Oxford, and I think he's still with Microsoft. I know for certain he was as of 2 years ago. But
That's a long time to still be there.
he's one of their senior programmers. I have no idea how much money he's making.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
They usually invested well before they move on.
He worked for Miami Systems and
Microsoft.
well, he was doing a Unix database there. And then he went to work for another company doing a Unix database for them. And then that company got bought by Microsoft. So I have no idea what he's doing now. But yeah, he played a lot with SCO Unix.
Still even here in Ohio, or is it work for Microsoft out there?
No, he moved out of here in 99, 2000.
So he's in Portland or Seattle, Steve?
He's in Seattle, but my plane lands in Seattle first. Got a couple hours layover there.
Oh, gotcha. Then flying to Tacoma or something.
Yeah, but Portland,
Portland,
PDX.
yeah, Portland, right there, Tacoma, just on the Washington side. So this right there on the border.
You know, company. They said, if you want to do this, would you like to go to Portland? Sure, but am I paying for this myself? Oh, no, we'll get you a credit card. Okay. So I'm signing up for the credit card and it says, there's a checkbox. Do you want this rushed? I call my boss. I said, I don't know what the time frame is on this. Should I pay for the rush? Oh, yeah, okay. So it shows up in 3 days. Should I start booking this stuff? It's like, yep, connect to this website. So I have everything booked, the car, the hotel, the flights. And then the person that had sent out the first announcement, 2.5 weeks later says, oh, by the way, use this hotel. I had found a hotel that was like a mile from where I was going to end up at. And this other hotel is halfway between Portland and Wilsonville. Do you want me to switch hotels? Yes, please. Really? Okay. Ended up being $28 more expensive. And then after that, she's like, oh, if you can get an Uber instead of renting a car, please do that. I'm like, no, I don't Uber. I have been in a taxi one time in my life. Never been in an Uber. I have no desire to be in one. I don't want an Uber driver bringing me my pizza.
I was in a taxi in Boston.
Okay, it is not fun driving in Boston, so I understand that.
So my uncle, my aunt, and myself, we were up there for a conference. I don't remember if we told the guy that we were in a rush,
Oh,
but he ran like 5 red lights and about put us through the windshield at a green light. And we were like, my uncle got to chatting with him. He's like, you know, why'd you stop? I said, well, my cousin's driving today. And he was like, well, what's that got to do? He's like, well, that's why I stop at the green lights. They all run the red lights. I don't know if he was colorblind or.
I used to drive a cab.
Yeah, we were on the sidewalk, all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah.
It was the wildest ride I have ever been on.
I rode a cab in Vegas, and that was pretty much how it was there. I even told my buddy, we went literally a mile, and it cost $100.
dang.
But the dude went around the loop because traffic going through downtown Vegas
Yeah.
is insane. So he went around the loop to go a mile. So we actually ended up going like 25 miles in about the same amount of time as it would have taken to drive a mile if there was no traffic.
Nice.
So he was definitely hitting over 100 on the loop. Scared the crap. I mean,
I've never been on the loop in Vegas. So
Yeah.
But-
I like Vegas.
I told my buddy, I said, I'm not getting back in that cab. I'm just going to walk the mile. I'm just going to walk it.
There isn't a lot of place to walk in Vegas, or at least there wasn't when I was there.
You walk between the hotels.
The guy scared
Yeah.
the crap out of me.
2/3 of them you can walk in air conditioning between them, if you know
Yeah.
how to do it.
But
When I was there, breakfast was $3, lunch was $4, supper was $5.
oh, We,
It's been a while.
when we were there, we, yeah, we weren't even staying and we were just there for 4 or 5 hours.
Mhm.
My buddy said, yeah, watch this. They'll comp you almost anything.
Yeah.
As long as you stay there. He said, I want some drinks comped and I want some lunch brought to me. And he just had a little wad of money, not even, I mean, he only had like $100 or so. They brought him all kinds of stuff for free.
I used to go to Slots of Fun every weekend. I'd play $20 worth of nickels and they'd bring me champagne and hot dogs. It was great.
Yeah, crazy times. Not like that anymore. But I said, I'm not getting back in that cab. Let's just walk. There's also, there was a McDonald's across the thing, and you could order on your side. They had a little thing where the conveyor belt would bring your food over to you. That was the coolest thing I ever saw.
Where were you at?
We were right down on the strip, right downtown in Vegas.
Hmm.
That was one of the coolest things that I saw.
Last time I was there was about 85. And I
This
stayed at-
would have been 99. 99, maybe early 2000. It was a while. Yeah, it was 20 some odd years ago.
Might have been after that. Not by much though. I stayed at Excalibur. It was brand new. Like the costumes.
I went through there in 93. Might have been 94. Old man. That was before all the landscaping. There was still some of the old hillside was all sand and dirt still. Pretty sure.
Artificial condition, the Murderbot Diaries. Oh, that's from Jim. Jim's writing things.
Old Vegas, I guess, is where we came in through.
Okay.
That's all gone now. One casino left. Now past the Tropicana or whatever.
Yeah.
I really just couldn't believe how much stuff they would give you just to keep you sitting at that table.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were out there, I mean, they give us steak dinners just for playing a few minutes.
Yeah.
Back then. We ended up going to like one of the Indian casinos on our way out of Vegas. Dad, I don't even know how much Dad might made off slot machines, but I kept taking my Caff's winnings away every time he won. And then we still had enough in the jar that I bought us both steak dinners, filled the tank of gas, paid for the night stay, and I don't know what else we got. We still had like $78.
Nice.
Yeah, or $100 with that, you know. For playing with like a $10 worth of quarters.
That ain't bad at all. I used to play nickels and I'd go in literally with a bucket of nickels, $20 worth. And it took all night to lose. I remember a couple of times I'd leave with $30, $40, but I never, I mean, playing nickel slots, you're not gonna
Well,
playing slots, long run, you're
yeah.
not gonna win.
Sometimes you make a little, yeah. Well, that was the problem I had with Dad, was like, he just he'd play everything, he wouldn't put anything away. So I was like, winning, you might, you know, you bank half of it every time and you got something left over when, you know, instead of playing it all the way out. He's like, yeah, maybe we should. And then about half hour into that, he started letting me put it in another jar, half in one, half in the other, and I could keep the other time it was over, so he was up quite a bit. But,
The mechanical slots or the new ones?
the old, yeah, this is before all the electronic crap.
I went through Miami Valley. I was a slot mechanic in Vegas, the California hotel, all the way on one end of the strip. Good job, a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I went to Miami Valley. Oh, what a depressing place. And maybe it's just that one. So I went to what's now Jack Casino or whatever.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati, same thing. Just, yeah, well, not just digital, but it wasn't fun. You know, I got, I don't know, $30 credit for free at Miami Valley. I played it till it was gone and just walked out.
Yeah.
I couldn't even, and I put $20 in at Jack. And I lived 2 miles from there. I could get down there in no time at all. It was not entertaining. Certainly not like Slots of Fun has been. Or Circus Circus. Circus Circus was hilarious. Had a bunch of midgets running around.
When I was leaving, last time I was in Vegas, somewhere they gave me like 20 or 30 bucks for the MGM. I was like 4 hotels north of there, Planet Hollywood or whatever, or something. And I did end up going down there to the like M&M store or something, but I didn't go into the MGM. That was the day the dude hit on that. I thought it was a penny machine or a nickel machine. It had never paid since 1976 or something like that. Paid $65,000 out.
Nice.
On a penny slot machine, I think it was. They said been there for 30 years or 40 years or something. Never had tallied out or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's insane. Should have went in there and played a few minutes. I was surprised if they'd had a machine that was that old in there, to be honest.
People keep putting money in, you leave them.
Yeah. Well, there's just so many of them flashy digital with LED screens and stuff anymore. But yeah, the penny machines get in the wall in the corner somewhere, playing on the good stuff. Always like playing on those. Whatever reason. Don't go broke playing on nickel on penny machines.
So do they have slots in Ohio?
Pretty sure, don't they?
Digital. Not real slot machines.
I've never been to the Ohio. Well, been to the what's the one at the River Downs now?
Oh,
Belterra.
yeah.
I don't play. I go out for the restaurant.
Yeah, I haven't been in that one. Jack Casino has slot machines, but they're all computerized. They're all networked together. You can't put cash in them. It's just a little credit card thing. The possibility for them tracking you is, I'd say 99.999%.
They know who wins every dime in there. They know who wins every dime in there.
Yeah. Oh, I have no faith that the machines are random. At least with old real slots. I knew how they worked. I adjusted those clutches.
Right.
And yeah, they might be tight, they might be loose, but they really were pretty darn random. And now they're not. They have
Computerized.
Yeah.
What do we need to make today? Auto ratchet.
So this card you put in, do you like pre-charge them with a certain amount of money, or how's that work?
Yeah. I know at Miami Valley, you sign up, you get a little card. I'm pretty certain I had to give my social security number to get that. So if I got any winnings, they could properly report it to the IRS. And yeah, they gave me a $30 credit for doing that. And I regretted it. And the food there wasn't even very good.
They comp you food or food and drinks?
Neither. I think they give you drinks. They might bring drinks by.
Used to give you a fountain.
Okay.
A lot of them did, but I don't think some of them do that anymore.
They certainly didn't count food.
Hmm.
When Belterra was over in Indiana, we went there a few times. They used to have like a $3 steak night or something like that back before they, you know.
I could do that.
Oh, they don't do that anymore either. They're like $20 steak night, maybe.
Yeah.
The high grade snow crab legs, all you could eat on Saturday nights or something like that. Now you don't even want this crab leg.
I like shrimp, popcorn shrimp.
Yeah.
But everything else out of the sea that still has a shell on it, that's just a sea bug. I cannot get past how much like a cockroach a lobster looks. I just can't eat them.
Never done a lot of lobster.
How about clams or mussels or whatever?
No, not really.
Sea slugs.
Yeah. Now, I seriously like good fresh fish. Cod, whitefish, grouper. Yeah. If it's good and it's fresh, I like it.
How about scallops?
I don't know. I don't know that I've ever had them.
They're a little white fish bigger.
Yeah.
Well, they can vary from the size of a pencil eraser all the way up to the size of a hockey puck, depending on what the source is.
Is it a
The
food you chew? Yeah. Because like I've had octopus once, and that was a mistake. If you can't
Really?
eat it.
I love marinated octopus.
Or chewing gum.
Do you just swallow it whole?
No, it's properly prepared. It's not bad. The Italian delis in Willow Glen, part of San Jose, have a number of different marinated seafood items, and one of them is octopus, and I love it.
Where's this at?
Pardon?
Where is this?
It's in the Willow Glen area of San Jose, California.
I'll give it a try if I'm ever there.
Yeah, it's the South Bay end of San Francisco Bay. True Silicon Valley, so to speak.
That's the first positive story of octopus I've ever heard.
No, I love it. It's and I love pretty much all crustaceans.
I don't like seafood, so.
My dad has stories from Vietnam. Of course, you don't want to, insult the people offering you food over there, and they were telling him how it was their candy. And he said the more he chewed it, the bigger it got. And at some point, everybody looked away and he gave it to the plant. He was not impressed with the flavor, I don't think.
Well, a lot of seafood, the flavor is actually determined to a large degree by the spices they put on it. So the seafood itself is just a matrix that you then lay various kinds of spices on, kind of like tofu in many ways. Not quite as bland as tofu, but as I say, it becomes a matrix you lay spices on.
My sister brought a tofu turkey to Thanksgiving once. God. So great. It was her vegetarian years.
Oh,
She's over that.
I think in all the times I've had tofu, which sadly I hate to say it's been quite a few, there's only been like 2 times where I thought it was at least edible.
It goes the other way, so you can pull it out. and grind it.
Yeah, the battery, sir.
That is quite the device.
Yeah, at least know more about it now than I did when I came, so that was the goal.
I was looking for a picture of that TI server, but
Oh,
I couldn't find one. Maybe that's why it was so weird.
one of the weirdest interconnects I ever saw or something was an older DEC server that had serial lines hooked up that were the Cat3 cable, but they went into a connector that looked a lot like what USB is now. It was a flat slide with 4 connectors on one side. And it had 2 screws. It screwed onto the cable. It was a insulation piercing thing. And you put the wire in there, screw it closed, and slide it in the back of the machine. It had that on both ends. Terminal was a 4-wire serial terminal, and it had a block this high of those connectors on the back of the server. 128 terminals.
I think I've seen something like that before.
So was this the cable that was about a 1/2 inch in diameter?
No. It was old Cat3 phone cable. It was
Oh,
limited
really?
115, 120 feet because it didn't even have twists in it, I don't think. It was that weird flesh tone stuff that they used to run phone lines with.
Yeah.
Anybody use some phone lines?
It's a phone.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
What kind?
I probably have a tub
Oh,
that are just random phone cords, reels. I got enough to wire like 25 houses
hmm.
if houses still had phones.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I don't think they-
Explosion of cabling.
Turn it into antenna.
I don't think they put phone lines in houses, in new houses anymore, do they?
No. They run Cat5 everywhere. You can plug a telephone into that if you need to.
My phone in Milford, which is built in 2009, doesn't have any phone lines. It had coaxial cable to distribute internet or whatever you wanted, but it doesn't have what I would call phone lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was doing it now, I don't think I'd run phone line. I'd run Cat6 or Cat7 everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay for Cat7. Cat6 is enough of a pain in the butt to run.
Yeah.
if your runs are under 100 feet, it will perform at
Just as
40
good.
gigabit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and terminating it's a pain also.
That's that one house that me and Patty looked at, little tiny house. No walls in it.
Oh,
Framework was there, but there were no walls.
nice.
I was like, that's perfect. I can run wire wherever I want.
I've got binder rings in the attic and pull strings now, and wires going all over
Oh.
the place.
I did not realize that. Okay, I'm getting the time to go signal.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
Good night, gentlemen.
I'll see everybody next week.
Take care. Take care.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye,
Good
guys.
night.